Okay, this is a short video. I'm gonna give you 5 good things about Ghana, West Africa. And I'm doing this because all we hear are the bad things. And believe me, they're bad things, the negative things, and dysfunctional things here. It's the truth. But that's not all that's here. That's just all that we hear about in the U.S. Warfare, famine, starving children, extremely poor. Anytime they mention any African country, they always add on that it's one of the poorest countries in the world. Now, it's 54 African nations, and I don't care which one they talk about other than South Africa, they'll end it by saying it's one of the poorest nations in the world. And yeah, the continent is poor in terms of standard of living and infrastructure compared to the Western world. But there are pockets of opulence here. There are people with money here. There are extremely wealthy people here. And there are extremely beautiful and nice neighborhoods and homes here. Of course, it's not the majority. The majority of people struggling. But I learned this from a friend of mine, Charles Garrison, in the 90s. He said, don't believe the images about Mexico riding donkeys and wearing sombreros. He said because he's seen neighborhoods in Tijuana, Mexico City, and Monterrey. No, he didn't say Tijuana, he said Guadalajara, Mexico City, and Monterrey, that make our suburb upscale communities look poor. That's what my friend said. Anyway, so I'm just saying, to add balance, I'm gonna tell you 5 good things about Ghana. Number 1, and not in any specific order, but the first thing is they have a no-fight culture. I learned this when I first came. Ghana say no fight, meaning they don't do no fist fighting. They ain't stabbing and shooting. They do a lot of arguing and fussing, but they don't fist fight and they don't argue and stab and shoot. It happens, but it's rare. It's nothing like our culture in the U.S., where we fuss and fight and it leads to somebody getting killed or somebody getting seriously hurt. And then the bystanders in the U.S. will edge it on. But in Ghana, if people start arguing, if it's a man and a woman, if it's 2 men, if it's 2 women, whoever it is, the crowd that doesn't know them, that has no connection with them, whoever's around, they come up to them, they pull one party aside, they talk to them, they try to cool them down. They don't egg it on. I've seen videos which embarrassed me so much. I was in Ghana, and I'm glad I was by myself some years ago, where 2 women were fighting on the street in the U.S., black women. They didn't say where, but it was New Orleans, because I know the accent. And the people around them, kick that so-and-so, get that MF, you know, that old kind of egging it on. That don't happen in Ghana. So that's a good thing about Ghana. No fight, they don't believe in that kind of foolishness. Another amazing thing about Ghana, you can leave your children alone. I'm not saying you should, I'm saying it happens. And when I say children, I don't mean 10 and 11-year-olds, I mean 3 and 4-year-olds. They can be by themselves outside the gate of the house where they live, on the street. Maybe the parent isn't around or not in visual contact, and nobody's snatching them up. You don't have to worry about anybody doing anything to them because you see it a lot. Children, little bitty children. I just saw one today. The mother was sitting on the ground, she's begging, you know, and that's part of the culture too, like it is in the U.S. And then people give them money, you know, they're trying to survive. Poor women got these babies, and they sit on the ground, and they don't ask you for anything. They got a bowl out there. If you pass by, the children will ask you, but the women don't. And you can give them something or don't. Anyway, little child, she's about 2 years old. She wandered off about a block down the street. So it happens here, and it's a wonderful thing. It's indicative of the peace and the security here, where little children can wander around and the parents don't have to have them in visual sight, and they're not worried about them. Okay, another thing connected with the no fight is road rage. Doesn't happen in Ghana. Yeah, people fuss and fight and they argue and they honk the horn. They don't fight, they fuss, they honk the horn, and traffic is crazy. It's a big city. I don't know how many millions it is. It's bigger than Kansas City. It's like New York. It ain't nearly as big as New York, but it's crowded and energy like that. But they always honking the horn and jibber jab and giving each other lip service. But there's no threat of anybody getting out the car. Nobody's going to fisticuffs. Nobody's getting hammers and blunt objects like they do in the U.S. or knives or guns and killing you because you cut them off or because you're going too slow or because you did something that doesn't happen here. No road rage, period. Okay, and then the food. Oh my God, this is one of the best things. I've been to 16 countries, and so far Ghana has my favorite food. I don't know why, but it is. It's my favorite food in the world. As much as I like Ethiopian food, I like Ghana food better. A lot of people love Thai food. It's not my favorite. It's okay, I can get by, but it's not my favorite. I've been to Mexico and Central America, South America. Ghana has the best food. Just to give you a few examples, Indomie. I forgot what we call it. I'm so used to these Ghana names. This little pasta stuff in a package. You just drop in water and heat it up and put the spices in and eat it. Whatever we call it in the U.S., they call it Indomie here, and they call it Indomie in Asia. But they have a wonderful way of making it. They don't eat it like we do. They boil it, then they stir fry it, and they add a lot of vegetables and sometimes fish or meat if you want it, and spices, and it's delicious. Another one's banku. Banku is like fufu. It's not fufu, and I don't eat fufu. It's the only thing I don't like here. But I like banku and kinke, and they're made from corn dough, cassava dough, and stuff like that. And there's a doughy substance. You eat it with your hands. You know, you mash it up, and you pick up the food that you're eating with the banku. Okra stew in banku, groundnut soup in banku. We say peanuts, but they call them ground nuts. Palm nut soup, delicious. Garden egg soup with banku. Garden egg, I forgot the American name for years, is eggplant. All I knew was eggplant until I started coming to Ghana, then I forgot the American name. But here they call it garden egg, and it's delicious. Garden egg stew in banku. Cabbage stew and rice, that's not with banku. Cabbage stew and rice, one of the first things I ate here in 2003, and I love it. They don't serve it many places, but if you can get it, it's very good. And then, of course, jollof rice. I didn't know it was a thing in Africa till I started coming. I thought it was a Jamaican thing for some reason, because that's the only place I saw it in the U.S. before I came to Africa was amongst the Jamaicans. But it's really an African thing. Ghana and Nigeria are always in competition. Who has the best jollof? Hell, it's just jollof. I can't tell the difference really, but they can. And actually, there's a region, and they both claim ownership, like they're the first ones to do it. But there's a region in Senegal called Jollof. They say Jollof here. And that may be where it came from, really. Or that's where the name probably originated, I'm assuming. I don't really know. Okay, and the last thing, which is one of the reasons I came here in the first place in 2003, is English speaking. So there's no language barrier. And I've been in countries and spent a lot of time in places where it's not English speaking. And, you know, I have to use my phone to translate, and I'm able to get around and do what I need to do and communicate when I need to. But it's so relieving and relaxing to be in a place that people speak the language that you're accustomed to hearing and speaking. Of course, they speak Tree and their traditional languages in Hausa and a lot of other languages, but 90% of the people speak English. You don't have a problem with understanding anybody in Ghana. Every now and then you'll find an old person that doesn't speak English. And the TV shows, half of them in English, the local channels, and half of them in the local language and dialects. But a lot of them are in English, and a lot of the shows on TV are American movies, really. And this is free TV. You can buy extra, like in the U.S., cable and stuff, but just with the free TV, you get a whole lot of channels. You get TRT, which is international, like CNN, I guess. I don't know what country it's from, but they have good international news. It's free, that's included. And then Ghana TV, that's another thing, I say 6, that I like about Ghana, is the TV. It's so educational, it's so informal, it's so diverse, the TV in Ghana. They have all kind of programs on TV here. And the education, they're entertaining, and it's not boring, it's not dull. Man, I really like TV in Ghana. And then, of course, they got all kind of African movies that I don't watch. Too hard to understand what they're saying for me. And then they're all around the same theme. The Africans love them. Nigeria is the 3rd largest movie producing country in the world. They got Nollywood. India has Bollywood, and of course America has Hollywood. But all the movies seem to revolve around romance themes. Nothing wrong with romance, but that's the only thing that they revolve around. Men and women. Then the special effects in the background is not nearly what we're accustomed to in the U.S. It's just shot inside a house. You may see outside the gate. You might see a road scene every now and then, but it's monolithic kind of relationship stuff. You know, man cheating on his wife, wife cheating on the man, love and hate and all that kind, and that's all it is. It doesn't have any contextual variety to the movies here. So I don't like the movie. I ain't gonna say I don't like it, I just don't watch it. But anyway, those are my things about Ghana. I said 5, I gave 6. Give me some feedback, tell me what you think. Hope I didn't offend you. I know I didn't, because I didn't talk about the bad stuff, and I don't make videos like that. Very rare about Africa, because we've heard it all of our lives, all the negative stuff, and I don't promote it. Bye.